So sleepy classes ka I started with your sociology optional. Since I had sociology optional, so for conceptual clarity, I was always going to sleepy classes videos, and I watched a lot of videos like marathon videos of PYQs. I've recommended to a lot of people those
अच्छा
videos and 50 topic videos which come before prelims. So they were like a long association with sleepy. In this preparation, in this process, you have to prepare for everything.
हम्म
You can't leave any stone unturned. You can't leave anything for granted. If you are working for 7 papers across and you are putting all the efforts that you can, तो एक पेपर अगर खराब जाता है तो you have 6 papers to make it up.
कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशंस।
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
कितने सालों की तपस्या का फल है?
Sir, I guess it's been like 6 years now. Like, yeah,
अच्छा
2020. I started, and yeah, it's 6 years, and it's good to see you in person like this. I've
अच्छा
only seen you in videos. I've heard your voice many a times,
ओके
and
अच्छा। कैसे स्लीपी के साथ कैसे एसोसिएटेड, क्या वीडियोस, कौन सा कोई कोर्स क्या था?
so sleepy classes ka I started with your sociology optional. Since I had sociology optional, so for conceptual clarity, I was always going to sleepy classes videos and just
ओके
wherever I had any doubt. And I was part of the Tapasvi batch, like the
अच्छा
31 Tapasvi batch, which
राइट।
uh, yes.
उसमें से आपको
So
पता
I
है
was
इस
the I
साल
was part of.
एक दो तीन बच्चों का मुझे और भी आया, अभी उनका मैंने इंटरव्यू नहीं कर पाया उनका। वो भी जो रैंक होल्डर्स
Okay,
हैं, मे बी आप अगर अकेडमी जाओगे तो यूल मीट देम।
okay. Sir. So I was part of the original 31,
ओके
and
वाओ।
apart from that, I watched a lot of videos like marathon videos of PYQs. I've recommended to a lot of people those
अच्छा
videos and 50 topic videos which come before prelims. So they were like a long association with CT, and yes, so that's how
सो
I.
नाइस। लाइक वंस अगेन लाइक कांग्रेचुलेशंस, और बड़ी अचीवमेंट होती है एंड टॉप रैंक, है ना? तो अभी नेक्स्ट क्या, व्हाट व्हाट आर योर प्लान्स अभी आफ्टरवर्ड्स?
Sir, right now, so I am in JNU. I'm doing my master's. I have
ओके
to write my thesis,
अच्छा
dissertation. So yeah, so I'm doing my master's in disaster studies. So
ओके
I have to write a dissertation abhi,
अच्छा
and I've been like holding on to my books. And since I write and read a lot of like poetry and books and everything, so that was on hold. So I'm currently pursuing that as well,
ओके
and meeting a lot of friends because I've been not in touch with a lot of my friends from college. I was out of
ओके
social media for 6 7 years.
अच्छा
Now I'm talking to them and like connecting with them, so it's been great. So बचपन में I would say मैं बहुत ज़्यादा क्लियर ही नहीं था। मुझे एक दिन पायलट बनना होता था, नेक्स्ट डे मुझे
अच्छा
सोल्जर बनना होता था, उसके नेक्स्ट डे I wanted to be someone else, and then back to pilot. So I mean, I had no idea. Since I also had nobody in my family who was either associated with bureaucracy. मेरी पूरी family में mostly are teachers, and मैं मेरा स्कूल भी हिंदी मीडियम गवर्नमेंट स्कूल में था, so there was not that much of exposure in UP board. So then when I moved to college, and that's where I actually got to know कि भाई चलो ऐसे होता है, ये एग्जाम है, इसके बारे में लोग समझते हैं. And there also I did not have a penchant like कि I'll study about it then and there after college. So मेरा पहला inclination was toward research, and I wanted to pursue chemistry.
ओके
तो फिर मैं AIFR गया, फिर I was supposed to go to London for my masters, बट
ओके
वो कोविड आ गया, फादर की हेल्थ डिटेरियोरेट हो गई, तो so there was some family emergencies. So
ओके
in that situations, I started studying for UPSC. So first of all, there is a two-way process I would understand, I would relate to it. First is to get into the headspace as to मतलब कि UPSC करना है, and so first of all, you need to have a big why, a very specific why, because there will be troubles, there will be ups and downs, and there will be difficult times. And उस टाइम पे पढ़ने का बिल्कुल मन नहीं होता है. आपके साथ में ऐसी सिचुएशन, they are bound to happen. Everybody goes through that. So you need to have that sort of support system, and your reason to join civil services should be very very specific to you. That's first. Second is once you get into that headspace that yes, I want to study for it, then strategize your strengths and weaknesses accordingly. First
ओके
of all, get to understand this examination and what it demands from a person, be it through your syllabus, PYQs, because sometimes I've seen people just jumping into it, not knowing what is being demanded out of them, and then wasting a lot of few. I actually did it in my first attempt. I believe it in
ओके
that sense. I focused too much on current affairs and not like too much on static. So I
Okay.
missed prelims cut off in first attempt itself by two
Okay.
marks. So I mean, I have gone through that phase. So if anybody who comes to me like कि भाई हम पढ़ना चाहते हैं, तो I would recommend कि first they should understand what is being demanded out of them.
तो
So yes.
जो स्टैटिक का तो सबसे बड़ा जो जो जीएस का जो पेन ही यही है कि स्टैटिक का तो हमारे पास लिस्ट ही नहीं है, हमें पता ही नहीं है कि क्या करें हम। तो बच्चे बेचारे भटकते रहते हैं। तो इसका तुमने कैसे तोड़ निकाला?
सर स्टैटिक के लिए मैंने सिंपल रखा था कि ज़्यादा कॉम्प्लिकेट नहीं करना है. आई वुड जस्ट लाइक रिलाई ऑन एनसीईआरटीज फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल एज द बेस मटेरियल.
ओके।
क्योंकि मेरा बहुत सिंपल फिलॉसफी है कि सरकारी एग्जाम है और
हम्म।
सरकारी किताबें पढ़नी ज़रूरी है. ठीक है. क्योंकि
हम्म।
सरकारी वो ऑलमोस्ट वो गवर्नमेंट सोर्सेज हैं सारे, वो ऑथेंटिक सोर्सेज हैं. और
हम्म।
पीपल ऑफन निग्लेक्ट देम कि ये तो भाई ये तो बच्चे पढ़ते हैं इसको. बट
ओके।
एनसीईआरटीज आर वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. So
हम्म।
that was my first to layer. On top of it, there were list of book list which was there कि particular reference book कौन सी रखनी है, किस तरीके से करना है.
ओके।
And coupled with that, I would take PYQs
ओके।
as a holy grail.
हम्म।
कि what is relevant and what is not. Because when we are, for example, reading newspaper, it can take a person 4 hours to read it. कि भाई सब कुछ पढ़ना है, सब कुछ देख रहे हैं. And it can be summarized in 30 to 40 minutes, understanding what is important and what is not. तो वो जो अंडरस्टैंडिंग है that comes with syllabus and PYQs का over analysis over time,
ओके।
that what is being asked in the prelim, what is being asked in the mains, and if you have some idea about what you will be writing in your DAPIT, your background or whatever, so that becomes a bit relevant when it comes to current affairs or the newspaper. So having that understanding is very important.
ऑप्शनल बैलेंस करना, जीएस के साथ साथ करंट अफेयर्स मैनेज करना, और सबसे बड़ी बात है इतना कुछ कर भी लिया इसको याद रखना, और टेस्ट देना, टेस्ट की इम्प्रूवमेंट करना, ये बैलेंसिंग एक्ट कैसे, जो फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट में तो बहुत बार समझ ही नहीं आता करूँ क्या इसमें। तो अगर कोई शुरू कर रहा है आज से, तो क्या गाइडिंग लाइट या क्या नॉर्थ स्टार होना चाहिए कि ये तो करना ही करना, दिस इज हाउ यू शुड डिवाइड योर टाइम, तो वो क्या एक प्लान हो सकता है?
So what I did, I'll tell you that. मैंने एंड से स्टार्ट किया था कि माई आई क्रिएटेड अ रोड मैप एज टू व्हाट इज सपोज टू बी डन, एंड देन फिर उसको माइक्रो मैनेज करता गया था कि
ओके।
दिस इज द बिग चंक, आई हैव टू डू इट इन दिस फेज, एंड देन दिस लाइक माइक्रो मैनेज करते हुए. बट आई स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम द एंड. कि फॉर एग्जांपल इफ आई एम स्टडिंग फॉर प्रीलिम्स, तो ये एंड है, इस टाइम तक मुझे फेज में ये करना है, इस फेज में ये करना है, इस फेज में ये करना है. सो
ओके।
व्हाट माय नॉर्थ स्टार वाज कि for prelims I'll go to the static, because in my opinion static was the most important thing, and a basic static foundation, good static foundation was very important. Similarly with the MCQ aptitude which comes with the tests, how I used to sort of manage all the things. तो since people study for mains पहले, तो optional मेरा ये idea था कि optional I should cover up first with NCERTs as my base, and then once optional gets done, I'll write the answers for optional, and meanwhile I'll read for the GS.
ओके।
साथ साथ में आंसर राइटिंग करता रहूंगा, GS का रेफरेंस बुक्स हो जाएंगी एक बार, एंड देन आई cover both the things and do the answer writing properly.
ओके।
So that, क्योंकि that is a very gradual process. आंसर राइटिंग में काफी ज्यादा इम्प्रूवमेंट की जरूरत होती है, एंड ओवर टाइम इट हैपेंस. So that was there. And I had a diary, I remember, a small diary where I used to jot down the task that I have to do daily.
अच्छा।
And हाँ, तो मतलब even if I admit that I was not able to complete all the tasks every day, because it's not possible. Sometimes we just in a hindsight we write all the things कि आज ये भी कर दूंगा, ये भी कर दूंगा, ये भी कर दूंगा, but does not happen. So even if a person is able to do 60 to 70%, that is good enough to
ओके।
go. And that's what I did, and luckily with a proper direction, things worked out.
आपने प्री दिया, आपने बताया कि पहली बार प्री क्रैक नहीं हुआ, तो उसके बाद क्या माइंडसेट था कि अरे ये तो जो गेम ही कुछ अलग लेवल की है, खुद को सेटबैक की फीलिंग होती है कि परेशानी के कितने दिन बीते और कैसे उसको खुद खुद को ना वापस, कि व्हाट डिड यू डू?
सर काफी ज्यादा परेशानी के दिन गुजरे थे उस समय, मैं आई एडमिट दैट. एंड इट वाज वेरी वेरी डिफिकल्ट, बिकॉज आई वाज वेरी वेरी एक्साइटेड कि हो जाएगा, आई वाज डूइंग एवरीथिंग राइट, बट व्हेन आई मिस्ड द कट ऑफ बाय 2 marks,
ओके।
I got
वाह।
to know that I'm just there. I'm just making some mistakes and I
हम्म
need to rectify them. पहले
हम्म
वो introspection पहले तो 10 दिन कुछ नहीं हुआ सर. To be honest, I was not able to do anything,
हम्म
and I had to process that. And once I got into that headspace, okay, now I have to think about what went wrong. So I
हम्म
made a list of things which in according to me went wrong, and then I worked upon them. Be it the static and be it like solving better MCQs, solving PYQs, वो एक aptitude develop करना था. I remembered in my first attempt, I only attempted 76 questions.
ओके
And that too not with high accuracy. So I
हम्म
increased that number so that I have better probability. Because I
हम्म
realized my this was accuracy was not my strength. I
हम्म
need to work on the probability
हम्म
that I was making mistakes and I knew that I would be making mistakes. So I try to reduce it as less as possible,
हम्म
but so I increased the number in the next attempt. I
ओके
somewhere around scored 91 in that, and this was 2023, which was very very difficult.
वेरी डिफिकल्ट राइट
So,
ओके
so I like practiced a lot of MCQs for GS and CSAT, and that was the year which I guess I scored 20 to 25 marks more than the cutoff.
प्री जब नहीं हुआ होता एक बार तो बहुत डर बैठ जाता है और लगता है कि प्री ही नहीं हो रहा है तो मैं क्यों पढ़ाई कर रहा हूँ है ना इतनी। तो जब प्री नहीं हुआ था उसके नेक्स्ट जब आप तैयारी कर रहे हो नेक्स्ट अटेम्प्ट के लिए तो क्या मेंस की तैयारी की थी उस साल?
बिल्कुल की थी सर. I realized कि the exam is about mains. Prelims is the gate to enter it.
हम्म
So if I only focus on prelims, then it's not gonna sail me through. I was
हम्म
looking for a rank, not just
हम्म
clearing prelims in that year.
हम्म
So I was like कि मुझे पूरा एग्जाम क्लियर से निकाल करना है, सही से करना है. So in the initial like let's say जून से लेके और जब से रिजल्ट आया था till December, I was
हम्म
only working on optional on my GSK notes. I was working on essay. I
हम्म,
watched your ethics videos. There was a playlist of your ethics videos at
अच्छा
that time.
ओके
That as well.
हम्म
And I mean, it was helpful to a great extent. तो उसमें मैंने काफी सारे अपने notes में addition किया था. I had a diary
ओके
and I had a lot of diaries of during my preparation. तो एक current affairs की newspaper की diary, एक ethics की diary. So whenever I used to come across something good, I used to jot it down in my diary.
ओके
So I watched that and उस साल में फिर then when it was time for prelims, then I switched to prelims specifically.
ओके कि ऑप्शनल को लेके आंसर राइटिंग की पहले या फिर प्री के बाद देखेंगे?
नहीं सर. I started off when since I had been a student who had been reading books. So there was a playlist of you, and I give personally credit goes to you. You mentioned Herlumbus Blue Book, पूरा किस तरीके से कौन कौन से चैप्टर इग्नू के पढ़ने हैं, and that video I saw, and I like about all the material I read because I had genuinely interested. I was genuinely interested in sociology. So I
ओके
read all of that. Once I was done with a particular chunk of syllabus, I started writing. So initially, I used to write daily. I used to write PYQs. Then I was writing daily answers.
अच्छा
And
डेली डेली तो बहुत मुश्किल चीज नहीं होती, टाइम कैसे निकाल रहे हो?
नहीं सर, मैं I would see. This is what I believe
हम्म
optional does up to a person.
हम्म
Optional should be a subject which you love
हम्म
doing.
हम्म
And that is where your interest lies. So
हम्म
मतलब सोशियोलॉजी का आंसर लिखना was not like कि मुझे ये भी करना है, नहीं. I would study for like 10 hours in a day. रात में even if I'm not able to do the answer writing in the day, I would write in the night. Before
राइट
going to sleep, I would write. So it was like कि एक पल तो boost मिलता था कि चलो, even if like for example initially geography was monotonous for me. So I used to be very scared कि नहीं पढ़ना. So when I was doing that and later on sociology, so I was like कि हाँ अच्छे से अभी हो रहा है and I can be very happy and go to sleep now.
अगर जैसे ये वाला जो प्रोसेस है इसमें मैं प्री निकालूंगा फिर मेंस निकालूंगा, अनसर्टेनिटी इतनी हाई है हर एक प्रोसेस में, मैंने इतनी मेहनत की है जो भी की है, देर इज अ ग्रेट पॉसिबिलिटी कि मेरा प्री ही ना हो, है ना, देर ग्रेट पॉसिबिलिटी मेरा मेंस में नंबर ही ना आए, मैं लिख के आए वो। तो इस अनसर्टेनिटी से हर रोज हर बच्चा जो बैटल करता है, तो आपका इस पे क्या विचार है कि मतलब व्हाट वाज योर आइडिया कि ये अनसर्टेनिटी के साथ मैं कैसे जीऊंगा?
So ये मतलब this is a very less touched upon aspect of this examination, I believe, and it should be given as much importance as it deserves, in my opinion. because there is highly uncertain, like many uncertainties are there. I mean, there are plethora of things I can go on around. But what I did, because of course those were the things that used to come to my mind, and since it was my fourth attempt, so there
हम्म
was so much of self-questioning, self-doubt, and a lot of low moments in between were there. तो मतलब मेरा आइडिया यही था कि I actually wanted to do it,
हम्म
and I knew that I had the potential to do it because I
हम्म
was working, and I was not just like having a blind faith in myself. So there was this. I had a theory. I read a theory about Stockdale paradox.
ओके
There is this thing about a war veteran in Vietnam War, where there was the thesis is about this. Ki you don't have to be overly optimist about things, and you don't have to be overly pessimist. Rather, you should be more realistic. Ki no matter what happens, there will be difficulties, there will be tough times, but you should have unflinching faith in yourself that in the end you will prevail.
हम्म
So I had that kind of thing in working with me. So I used to introspect and keep on checking as to if I'm going in the right direction,
हम्म
be it my tasks that I had planned for myself, be it the answer writing or the tests which I was writing, be it the mentors that I used to talk to for various people. And so वो constant time पे एक self introspection करते रहना, that becomes very important in the
हम्म
preparation because it's a long marathon. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon.
राइट
Daily you have to run that much. And for uncertainty, I would say that in my essay, for example, when this year, I give the personal example. This year,
हम्म
when the interview and mains marks came, so I had scored 804 in mains and 178 in the PT. So
ओके
I was thinking because my essay has been really a strong point of mine in my 2023 attempt as well, and later on as well, because whenever I had given my essays, I got good feedbacks over it. So I was thinking I would be scoring like good marks in essay, some improvement in GS, and some improvement over sociology. But when the final mark sheet came out, I scored only 84 marks in essay,
अच्छा
despite writing better essays than 2023. And this
हम्म
year I scored only 84. That year I scored 123.
ओके
So, and this was my GS score and sociology score which sailed me through.
हम्म
But in this preparation, in this process, you have to prepare for everything.
हम्म
You can't leave any stone unturned. You can't leave anything for मतलब for granted. कि अगर मतलब I was talking to a friend of mine who वो से कह रहा था कि भाई इतना करने के बाद भी if you are scoring this much तो मुझे तो डर लग रहा है. How will
हम्म
I do it?
हम्म
So I told him कि भाई you have to do in a way कि even if you think from the other perspective, the
हम्म
glass half filled, कि
हम्म
if you are working for 7 papers across and you are
हम्म
putting all the efforts that you can, तो एक पेपर अगर खराब जाता है तो you have 6 papers to make it up.
राइट ब्रिलियंट बहुत सही बात है
So that's what happened with me कि मेरा ऐसे खराब हो गया, but
हम्म
still I had worked tremendously hard in GS improvement as well as my sociology. So that actually helped me to sort of be in the list.
सोशियोलॉजी का कैसा रहा स्कोर
Sociology, sir, I scored 274.
ओके
Last
नाइस
time I scored only 219. This time my paper one was 140 and paper two was 134.
वाह बहुत ही सही है तो क्या जैसे प्लान रहा कैसे पढ़ाई करी कुछ इस पे भी बता दो हमें और थोड़ा सबकी हेल्प हो जाएगी सोर्सेज यू
Sir,
यूज्ड
आपको conceptual clarity and initial like I read a lot of texts. I was not a student who was very much comfortable with videos or proper notes.
ओके
So I was rigorously reading texts. तो
ओके
मैंने हर लम्बस से पढ़ाई की, मैंने रिजल्ट पढ़ा, मैंने इग्नू का मटेरियल पढ़ा. So I
नाइस
made notes out of it and did answer writing properly. So initially what happened was in 2023 there was some personal medical mishap that happened
ओके
in my optional paper. So
ओके
within that, during my paper two, I actually developed a kidney stone pain during the paper.
अच्छा अरे
So
फिर तो भागना पड़ता है उसमें
उस
तो
time
यू जस्ट
पे
कांट सिट डाउन
yes,
पेनफुल
so
इट्स द मोस्ट
वो
पेनफुल थिंग
yes, so that happened like in between the paper,
ओके
and whole everything like every UPSC officials came up to the room, and I was not able to write. तो मेरा ये पेन स्टार्ट हुआ था in between the interval between paper one and paper two. So I
ओके
taken the meds, पेन किलर्स की शायद ठीक हो जाए, and I would go and write the paper and then I'll consult the doctor later on. क्योंकि इतना
हम्म
important phase है, you have to write your optional. Optional is such an important paper.
हम्म,
तो but क्या हुआ कि वो जब मैंने meds लिए वो react कर गए and I
अच्छा
was not able to write. My hands were shaking. I was like having a seizure sort of a thing
जी
in between the paper.
ओके
And ये optional के paper 2 में हो रहा था.
हम्म
And I was so embarrassed when everybody was writing in front of me, like
हम्म
because everybody knows such a mains is such a time important
हम्म
paper,
हम्म
and then for 30-40 minutes I was not able to write. One of
हम्म
the senior officials who were there in at the center, he took me out in the corridor. He talked to me, calmed me down, and
हम्म
my hands were stable because they were shaking very badly.
हम्म,
And I went back. I wrote the paper like in 2.5 hours. तो मेरा
हम्म,
आधा क्वेश्चन छूट गया था पेपर में बाकी I completed all the paper.
हम्म,
So and that was the year I scored less in sociology. बाकी GS में मेरे नंबर ठीक आए थे.
हम्म,
And this time I tried to sort of improve on a lot of things sociology में. I worked a lot on my visibility of the content. I worked a lot on the argumentation of the content. I was not initially I was just dumping thinkers. That was my opinion because sometimes those were the guidance which I received. You just
हम्म,
write thinkers, 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 thinkers,
हम्म,
and I don't think that works because examiner sees that you are just doing it for the sake of doing it.
हम्म,
And so this time I focus more on the argument and contextualization of the answer. I
ओके
used a lot of GS knowledge, data, reports, if they are contextual, if they are right, and articles. And then I worked a lot on the sociological aspect of the answer, be it the sociological keyword, thinkers के books के नाम या फिर thinkers के जो core argument है वो उनकी एक theory पे अगर question आया तो वो. And then I tried to make the answer not very academic but more of sort of relevant in terms of present context as well. तो कभी कभी जैसे पेपर 1 का क्वेश्चन है तो आई वुड ब्रिंग इन पेपर 2 का थिंकर, पेपर 2 की थीसिस थ्योरीज एंड कि इंडियन सोसाइटी में क्या रेलेवेंस है, व्हाट इज द फ्यूचरिस्टिक एस्पेक्ट ऑफ इट. फॉर एग्जांपल अगर फैमिली में अगर आ रहा है तो इवन इफ दे आर नॉट आस्किंग व्हाट इज लाइक चेंजिंग एस्पेक्ट ऑफ इट, बट इनिशियली इन द कंक्लूजन आई वुड ट्राई कि if I can give a more futuristic aspect, the relevance of the family as a social institution. So
ओके
those were the things which I consciously did in my answers, just to make it a bit. My idea was sir कि अगर एक क्वेश्चन हर क्वेश्चन में आधा नंबर मिल जाए एक्स्ट्रा, एक नंबर मिल जाए एक्स्ट्रा, तो दैट शुड बी द थिंग. सो या
और नाइस और कि जो जो जंप बहुत ही ज्यादा सिग्निफिकेंट है 219 से 274, ये बहुत सिग्निफिकेंट जंप है। और जैसे अपार्ट फ्रॉम स्लीपी तुमने कोई सोर्स यूज किया हो तो दैट कैन हेल्प अदर पीपल, तो वी कैन ऑलवेज शेयर देम।
so in sociology you mean,
जनरली
or
जीएस में, सोशियोलॉजी, करंट अफेयर्स, एनी एनीवे।
yes sir. So sir, for that I used a lot of first of all बेसिक जो रेफरेंस बुक थी सबकी सेम होती है, मेरी भी वही थी, लक्ष्मीकांत, स्पेक्ट्रम एंड ऑल द लिस्ट दैट वाज देयर. एंड ऑन टॉप ऑफ इट आई टुक हेल्प in terms of test series
ओके
from various institutions for my master, for my answer writing, and mostly for mains. And evaluation के लिए I used to go over there and मतलब just send them copies and they'll give you back the answers. And apart from that I relied mostly on my self study aspect. So over the period of time I watched a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of help I took from a number of people, and I'm writing gratitude journals to each one of them. And since I was not associated with Sleepy as a paid student, so but still I had the gratitude, like because you have
दैट्स
been so helpful
दैट्स सो
in
नाइस।
my journey. So I just thought like I should write an email
Actually,
to.
that was really nice of you. ठीक है, and thank you so much once again, and congratulations to you.
Thank
Thank you.